unanimous consent to address the House for 5 minutes and to revise and extend my
Without
remarks.
objection.
There's been an awful lot of misinformation about the Democrat health care proposal, Mr. Speaker. And so I'd like to take just a couple of minutes tonight to talk to my colleagues about what's really happening and what will happen if this bill becomes law. According to the Lewin Group, there will be 114 million Americans who could lose their current coverage under the bill, according to this organization. 4.7 million is the number of jobs that could be lost as a result of taxes on businesses that cannot afford to provide health care insurance coverage, according to a model developed by the Council of Economic Advisors. $818 billion in total new taxes on individuals who cannot afford health care coverage and employers who cannot afford to provide coverage that meet the federal bureaucrat standards. $1.28 trillion in new federal spending in the next 10 years, and some believe it will be as much as $3 trillion. And then there's 33 entitlement programs the bill creates, expands, or extends in an increase from where we are right now. This is the organizational chart of the health care plan the Democrats are proposing. The white spots are new agencies that will be created or will be added to the plan. And it's going to be a real maze for Americans to go through in order to get health care. It will result, in my opinion, and in most people's opinion who study this, in rationing of health care and additional cost to the taxpayers of this country to the tune of between $1 and $3 trillion over a decade. Now, I just want to quote some of the things that have been said by our leaders over the past few days about this plan. Yesterday, President Obama, when he was talking about this, said that this bill will not add to the deficit. He said, "I will not sign a bill that adds to the deficit, period." That's a direct quote from the President yesterday. According to the Congressional Budget Office, the House bill, this bill, will add $239 billion to the deficit. So either the Congressional Budget Office or the President is wrong, because it is going to add to the deficit, according to CBO. Representative Charlie Rangel, one of my good friends here in the Congress, was commenting on President Obama and Speaker Pelosi by saying he thought they were moving too fast. He was overheard to say yesterday or day before yesterday, no one wants to tell the Speaker that she's moving too fast, and they darn sure don't want to tell the President. He was on his way to a closed-door meeting about this because there's an awful lot of concern about this bill, even among Democrats. Speaker Pelosi, in a front-page interview in USA Today, said, quote, "Many members think that there's more to be squeezed from the hospitals, the pharmaceutical companies, and the docs. Squeeze them." And I hope all of those institutions are listening. Joe Biden, the Vice President, said, "We're going to go bankrupt as a nation." He warned at an event in Virginia last week. He continued, "People, when I say that, they look at me and say, 'What are you talking about, Joe? You're telling me we have to go spend money to keep from going bankrupt?' And he says, 'Yes, we do have to spend more money to keep from going bankrupt.'" Now, that's something that is new to me. I've never heard that you could spend your way out of bankruptcy. And the White House Chief of Staff, Rahm Emanuel, told the New York Times that Obama intends to use tonight's press conference, it's going to happen this evening, and he's going to say at the press conference it's going to be a 6-month report card, and he's going to tell the American people, "I'm going to talk about how we've rescued the economy from the worst recession and that we're moving forward with our legislative agenda." Now, if they've rescued us from the worst recession, I'd like to know how we're going to explain to the American people that we're very rapidly approaching 10% unemployment, when just a month or so ago they said it wouldn't go above 8%, when they said they weren't going to spend us into the red anymore, and we're looking at trillions of dollars of additional spending. So tonight I hope everybody watches the President and listens to him, but I hope they ask themselves, are things better today than they were 6 months ago when you took office? Or are they worse? Because he's going to tell you everything's coming up roses. And with that, I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields back. Mr. Salazar.